Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back. Today is Friday, August the 19th, and we got another pre-order window opening up from EXO-6 for Captain Jonathan Archer from Star Trek Enterprise. Now this might be my spiciest review of a figure of theirs so far, because I've got a couple beefs that I feel like I need to address. I'm not going to be negative, but I'm going to be as honest with you guys as possible. So if you like the video, make sure you leave me a comment, hit the like button, smash the subscribe for me, and let's get into it. Okay, welcome back. So today it is Friday, August the 19th, and EXO-6 has put out another pre-order for Enterprise Captain Jonathan Archer, played by the notorious Scott Bakula. Now, I love Scott Bakula. He's one of my favorite actors. I loved him in the television show Quantum Leap. And when I found out that EXO-6 was planning on making this character, I thought a couple different things. I didn't love Enterprise as a series. I think it had some highlights. I think it had some good moments, some great character development. I liked T'Pol. I liked some of the other cast members. I liked the idea of seeing what Star Trek was prior to the Kirk days, prior to the Next Generation series. There was a lot of good there. There were some things that I didn't love about it. That was part of the reason that I think the show for me fell flat slowly over time. One of those things was I never really liked the uniforms in Enterprise. They didn't really scream Star Trek to me. They looked a little bit more like astronauts, which, in fairness to the show, they kind of were, right? Like, they were that next generation astronaut. They weren't flying around on these really superior class vessels yet. I mean, there was lots of scenes in Enterprise where they had to get down and dirty, really figure things out in the engine room, and you can see why these were more of a functional outfit than kind of a dress uniform. So I can still appreciate the function, I just didn't like the look of it all that much. Now that takes me to the EXO-6 figure itself. First impressions. Yeah, it's okay. I wanted it to be better. I know that sounds critical. I know it does. I still think this looks like Scott Bakula. Don't get me wrong. I can see the likeness there. I still think it's one of the slightly more strong head sculpts that EXO-6 has put out, especially in comparison to the Michael Burnham, which I really didn't love, as well as the Captain Catherine Janeway. I thought she was pretty soft. But this one has elements of softness that I still am having a hard time getting past. The other challenge I'm having when trying to even review these figures is the photographs that were being provided. It's not that they're bad photos, because I like the concept behind them. I like seeing some of these backgrounds. I think it looks cool. But when you're trying to see what the quality of a figure looks like so you can make an informed decision as to whether you should buy it or not, having blur effects, overexposed lighting, high contrast color backgrounds make it really, really tough to know what quality or level of detail we can even see. Again, look at this first photo that we saw of what the prototype previously looked like. It's with blue gloves, you can see all the detail, and it's like, wow, that looks really, really good. And then you look at this picture of Janeway, Michael Burnham, and Archer standing together. And they don't look very good. And I think part of that is the lighting, but part of it's like how blurry the photo actually looks when trying to sell the product itself. It feels deceptive to me. It feels like EXO-6 is purposely making the conscious choice to blur some of the rough detailing so that people don't ask any questions or don't necessarily criticize the likeness or the paint applications. I could be wrong there, but it feels a little bit deceptive. It's like how nobody knows what anybody looks like anymore because every photograph has a Snapchat filter or an Instagram filter. It's like, no, I want to know what you really look like. Now, in the photos that have clarity, I do find that the skin texture here looks extremely plasticky. It doesn't have that skin definition or like that texturizing of what real human skin kind of looks like. And I'm not sure if that's in the design of the plastic, if it's in the paint spray application, or where it gets kind of lost. The developer shared a photo on Facebook of what the original sculpt was supposed to look like. Different hairstyle, and apparently it was not approved. And the developer mentioned that Scott didn't like the hair sculpting essentially on that first iteration and preferred it on the second. The second is, of course, the one that we actually received. Now, I hate to say it, but I think the first generation is way better. Like, whoever's in charge of approvals and coordinating likeness rights, I feel like we need to go back to the drawing board a little bit on that, because that first sculpt was amazing. And I get it, it's a prototype. We don't expect necessarily to see consistent performance from the proto to the final product. But like, when you see them side by side like this, I feel like it shouldn't have even been shown. Don't show what it could have been, because if what it could have been is better, it detracts from the product you're looking to sell. I have a bit of a beef with EXO-6 lately, because I do find that we're being told consistently that this is the best we're ever going to get. If you're a Star Trek fan and you want to have a 1/6 scale figure in your collection, you better buy now, because nobody else is ever going to make this again. So buy it now, or you miss out. Well, is that even true? I get it. Star Trek isn't always the sexiest license. Okay, it's not. But Star Trek has been around for over 50 years. You're telling me that there's nobody else out there that would want to potentially take on the Star Trek line? That's crap. I'm sorry, but that's crap. And it's a marketing tactic to get us to buy these figures, and I don't appreciate it. To me, that's coercive selling, and I do not appreciate it. Having said that, there is a chance, always a chance, that we won't get these again. So you have to make an informed decision. You have to know if this is right for you. Are you looking to collect all of the Star Trek captains? Because this is an opportunity to have a wonderful representation of a captain in your 6 scale collection. But not to be negative, just to be honest, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. The price here is actually really good for this figure. This is coming in at $185 plus a flat rate of $20 in shipping. But is it though? Because when I scroll down the pre-order page on the EXO-6 website itself, it then also lists the price as $205 plus $25 flat rate international shipping. So EXO-6, please release a clarifying statement. Is there a different version that you're not showing? What's the discrepancy here? Why is there that price difference? But if it is $185, we're getting back to kind of what that price was pre-Discovery line, which I can appreciate, because it's, you know, again, we're all budget collectors to a point. We don't have tons of money to just spend on collectibles, so we want to try and get the best bang for our buck all the time. And I would say in order to get a Jonathan Archer in your collection, $185 is not bad. With the price of inflation, the way things are moving lately, it costs money to make these things, right? So for that, I think it's pretty good. The tailoring on the suit, I think, is excellent. This looks to me to be exactly what I would expect from the Enterprise outfits. That is something that I think EXO-6 is consistently delivering on. I think that they are really, really good with the tailoring of their outfits and the way that they're designed, the coloration scheme. There's a lot of really good stuff here. The figure himself even comes with the dog. Now, if you've seen the show, the dog's name, let me just pull it up here. The dog's name is Porthos. I couldn't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. It's been a long time since I've seen the show. But in my mind's eye, this is exactly what that dog looked like. Unlike the Einstein that we got from Hot Toys with the more, recent Back to the Future Marty McFly release, this dog definitely looks like the right dog. So for that, I appreciate it. Now, I have also seen reports that there has been some QC or quality control challenges with some of the belts that we've been getting from previous characters, ones that went with Michael Burnham, for example, having them break or just not work very well, and collectors are having a bit of a hard time getting them to kind of futz onto the character. At least with this guy, he doesn't come with the belt that doesn't look like. His phase pistol, it can be worn in a black holster that hooks onto the jumpsuit, so it's not magnetized like we saw with some of the First Contact figures. That's okay as long as the hook works, I think, and it's not, obvious or ugly. I think then that's passable, sure. The scanner it's kind of more of like a precursor to the tricorder, essentially. The scanner has two tops, so it can be displayed open or closed, which is pretty cool. And the communicator, it's that early communicator with the flip top antenna. So the accessories are pretty good. He also comes with 6 hand sculpts. Again, not to sound like a broken record, but I would really like to see some extra wrist pegs in future releases for EXO-6. Just in case we have any hand peg issues, I think it's appropriate to do so. It doesn't cost a lot, and I would imagine that it would save on all of the customer service challenges around broken wrists. In the future, people not trying to return their entire figure because they broke one hand. Like, that is mind-boggling. I would be willing to pay even an extra $5 on a release just to have the headache minimized. So, something to consider if you have the opportunity, or if you're listening, EXO-6. But overall, I would say for this figure, as a total release, once they tell us what the exact price is, because I don't like the fact that their website shows 2 different prices, I find that to be a bit confusing, I would still give this release out of 10 an 8 out of 10. I'm happy enough with it. Would I take this head sculpt and kit bash Quantum Leap Sam? Maybe. But Scott Bakula was a lot younger then. He had a lot longer of hair. I think maybe the previous iteration of the face that wasn't approved might have been a better kit bash of Sam, but it's hard to say. At the end of the day, the decision is up to you. Do I think you should buy this figure? Only if you A, are collecting the captains, or B, if you're a completionist and you just want all of the Star Trek line. What I think as EXO-6 collectors we should do for the community is make sure that we're honest as possible with the developer and with the company. They're giving us a good quality item, but they're not giving us an excellent quality item, in my opinion. There is definitely still room for improvement on the last couple figure releases that we've seen, and there's still so many characters that I'm hoping for. I'm wanting that Worf, I'm wanting a Locutus, I'm wanting a Riker, I'm wanting a LaForge, I'm wanting a Crusher. Like, I'm wanting for so many. I've got the 7 of 9 coming, right? Like, I am in it just like you guys are. But I also can't lie to myself. If I pair this in my collection with other 6-scale collectibles that I have, and it doesn't look like the quality translates through the lines, it may be a tough pill to swallow to keep it in my collection. If it looks like a toy, or if it just has ugly seams or poorly painted faces. Not to say that this is poorly painted, but I wouldn't want to see any reduction whatsoever in the quality from what we're seeing now, or I don't think that these would be worth the price tag that they're getting. But what do you guys think? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. This might be a more of a divisive review than I've done previously, because as you can tell, I'm starting to get a little bit passionate about it, and I'm sick and tired of reading these comments that say, this is the only time you'll ever get this, so take it or leave it. Then leave it. Because we do vote with our wallets, we do vote with our dollars, we want quality, we'll continue to support this company if we see it, but don't coercive sell people. I don't think that that's right. And for me, this figure, unfortunately, will not come to my collection. I'm sticking with the Star Trek The Next Generation line as best as I can, and as much as I love Scout Bakula, I don't think this will be for me. But what about for you? I'd love to hear from you down below. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, smash the subscribe for me, and we'll catch you on the next figure preview video.